I've got to move this piece of equipment, then I get in place, but I figured I'd show you the Monte Carlo. Just pulling it in. That was the blower noise you heard in the drive-in. Welcome to the evolution of the Chambler build. This is going to be version 1.5. I'm doing this a little quicker than I thought because the Chambler was accepted into Autorama in Detroit, which is awesome. It means I got a lot of little things to do to it. I've driven it about 100 miles now, so there's a lot of random things I have to fix that you find out after you finish the car. So it's finish point one. So I got a lot of stuff to do. Let's get to it. See you in a second. The video is going to jump around a bit. I'm actually going to talk you through while I'm doing some other stuff and show you what I did a little bit ago. Like the fact that my filler neck was leaking, I panel bonded it. You guys will see me panel bond quite a bit. If you haven't, there's a bunch of videos in this series that'll show you. I'm going to start checking all the bolts, making sure they're tight, but pick you up there and I'll be back in a bit. I had a very, very, very mild weeping leak at this filler neck area that I re-welded, and I did that re-weld because I knew it was going to leak from the thinness of the tube after I'd welded it the first time. Apparently I missed a spot. So I'm going to go ahead and panel bond that whole entire area, get it as smooth as I can. I've got the tape there because I do not want to panel bond the removable panel to the trunk. That would kind of suck. With all the possible leaks the car could have had, I consider that a win. I'll repair the small leak, and there could be little issues here and there, but overall it's, you know, I took a shot in the dark that would work, and so far it is, so hopefully it keeps going. After I filled it up at the gas station and knew that my filler neck repairs were good, I went ahead and cleaned the area up, primed it, hit it with a red liner coating, top coat, and the green misty coloring or the metallic stuff that everything else in the car has been painted with. I'm going to pull all this stuff off, and it is good to go. It's funny, it looks much worse on camera than it does in person. You almost can't even tell that I've repaired that area. Really, the camera does show a lot. Normally, the camera doesn't show stuff, so yeah. I'm giving everything I modified a once over to make sure that all the bolts are tight. I paint marked them, as I'll show you here. It's a good idea to check that, especially when you do something to this level of custom. Even if you're just replacing normal parts, it's not a bad idea to do that as well. You normally would wait till about 500 miles, but with me driving downtown, I want it to be okay. I'm going to be in a position where if this is not the time to break down, so I want to make sure as much of it is good as I can. Right now, I'm going to show you that the power steering developed a leak, and got to work through that and try to figure out what that is. And I'll see you again in a minute. Let's check fluid. I'm just going to keep doing that for about another 5 minutes, and it should be as wet as it's going to be. So this thing's stumble idling too. Probably the lack of the cat, but also I haven't driven it, so who knows what shape it was in before. As cool as I think it is that I put the Optima battery over the rust to kind of make it look like it's modified, I do think it's probably better to have it come off and make it look like that piece of the body actually fell off, this piece, because I actually do have this piece of the Bondo still, and I might glue it on, but I think for now I'm just going to tear the Band-Aid off and let it be as it is for the show. Yeah, amazing, stickers don't like rust. It's crazy. Back to the show. The Chambler does sit quite a bit higher in the rear than I expected it to. The springs have settled in the front, but the leaves haven't, so I'm going to drop it down one of the rungs in the adjustable shackle brackets. I'll show you those, and I'll show you the height, and then time to get moving on lifting this and moving everything around. Both tires are off the ground. That's all that really matters. This is a rear shackle bracket I'm talking about. It's actually got four positions. This is a rear shackle bracket I'm talking about. It's actually got 4 positions. I'm going to move it back 1 and see where it's at. Hopefully it's roughly an inch here. It's hopefully roughly an inch translated, but I won't know until I move it. It's going to be just a tiny bit sketchy. Jacks are in place. Hopefully it's good enough to do what I need it to do height-wise, but we will find out in a minute. I'll see if this is tall enough. I should just be able to zip the bolts out and move everything. I don't want it to be too much, so I don't want to have to try and move everything around. If I have to, I'll go up one more. Level on the jack. Let's see if I can break it free by hand first. I probably can. I'll probably zip it off with the gun, but I did get it to break free. Now I'm just going to do the same thing the other side, and we'll try to move it around. All right, let's get this thing lifted up and off the jack stands. You off the jack stands yet? Yes, you are. All right. Let's lower this down and see what we get. I think it's a little lower, but I'll measure it and make sure. I'm going to jounce it a couple times before I measure it, just to make sure everything levels out. Let's see what we got. It's exactly the same height. Yeah, it's exactly the same height. Maybe it's only adjustable for the length of spring. I don't want to put it all the way back. I don't think that's going to help. Now, think about it for a minute. Bring it back. Once I walk around the car and get the camera. I decided I'm going to go ahead and leave it in this hole. I'm going to torque it down. I'm also going to loosen the lower bolt and retorque to a different spec, because there's something in the forums that says it actually might not help the ride height, and there is a lot of tension on this, so I'm going to redo it a little bit. Hopefully it'll work. Might make a little difference. Optically, it looks like it is lower, but I think that's, like I said, I think it's an optical illusion. But hopefully, let a little more gas, put a spare tire, some tools, some things in the back. It'll also help. Ooh, that would have hurt. I'm going to go ahead and lightly tighten up the passenger side as well, and then I'll torque them both down. Okay. Whew. That was better than I thought. Now I'm going to retorque everything. Yeah. Ow! Monkey! I'm saying monkey, so I don't say certain other words that YouTube doesn't like, so there's a lot of glare in here. Because I really hate it when you say beep, 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 beep. Oh, but they don't seem to mind the word ass. I don't know. Leverage, 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 leverage. I'm leveraging my future on this YouTube channel. That's leverage right there. Forums are saying a lower torque value of 80 is better for the lower spring eyes. So I'll give that a shot. Do the same on the other side, and then I have something else I have to do, but then this part's done anyway. I'm kind of regretting ordering the heavy-duty factory leaf springs that are heavy rated, because I kind of figured with so much weight hanging off the very back of the car, there's like 2.5 more feet than a Cherokee would have, that it needed. But again, a couple hundred miles will probably settle these up pretty good, and it'll be interesting to see what the ride height is. Or I have to buy 4-inch lift springs. There is always version 2, because this is only version 1.5. Or version, oops, I forgot to do babe. I'm going to go ahead and keep trying to finish up the interior, and unfortunately the suspension didn't change with the ride height, changed with the shackles, but I kind of expected that. But that did lead into another problem when I drove it. Brakes started getting soft, so my friend Derek came over, and we'll jump to that right now. I pulled the Chambler out yesterday, and the brakes were soft, so Derek's over. We're going to go ahead and bleed the brakes again. I'm going to pull the front wheels. There's something weird on the back of this one I want to check out. So look back there. I bought, Derek bought me something that's very similar to something I just bought myself, so we'll have to compare it. See what's behind door number 1 here. May just be, oh, it's just dirt. Okay. I thought that stuff that was on the wheel might have been brake fluid, like something's leaking somewhere, because that's, when you have a soft pedal like this, it's normally what's happening, but apparently not, so we're just going to bleed the brakes for forever. So Derek got me basically the baby version of what I got at the show a couple days ago, which is going to be probably a couple months before you see this. I'll show you what it looks like. This is what I got, and I showed you guys in my tool haul recently. I'll link it above. And that's the one Derek got me. It's basically the shrunk version of what I just showed you, and it actually would make a halfway decent hubcap. So maybe that's what the route I go for the new look for the Chambler. I felt the Chambler wasn't quite race car enough, so I ended up putting a 3-color stripe of the AMC colors, the Mark Donahoe style, a blue, white, and red. I'm going to do a separate video on how I did this, because it's actually fairly in-depth. It's the first time I've done anything this magnitude, but I think it looks pretty good. And the nice thing is, with being an older car and aging it and making it look not right is the right thing to do. Right now, we're going to go ahead and go into the fun I had with putting the weather strip on the door seals. That was a ton of fun. You want to set your weather stripping in an inconspicuous space where you're not likely to step on it. If you have a piece of trim that goes over it, you don't have to worry about it as much, because the trim will hold it down. But I don't have the trim for this car, so I'm going to start it in this back corner where I'm not likely to step on it coming in or out. and run it up around. With this stuff having been shipped in a coil, it's going to be kind of a pain to get it fit, so you'll just want to massage it, or I'm going to want to massage it, but it'll get easier as I go up. Your better weather stripping is going to have metal inside of the seams, which will allow you to kind of fit it around things. I will come back with a pair of pliers and actually pinch it a little bit, at least in the corners, so that it won't come apart. I likely did not buy enough this time, but we will see. I should at least be able to get 2 doors done. Stuff is only about $20 for 20 feet, so it's not that bad. At least if I get the 2 front doors done, or at least the driver's side where I'm sitting, that'll help. That's going to be a problem around the dash. I'll have to come back right here because it's squishing against the dash and probably tweak it in, but it'll be fine. I'm not hitting it like it owes me money. I'm hitting it gently just to get it to fit around stuff, and that'll give you a way to also push it into the corners. If you pound it from both sides, it'll take any little rises up. The fun part's going to be getting them to butt together correctly. I'm going to cut it just a little long, and I'll shove them together, plump the seal up, and then hit it with a little bit of super glue to get them to stay stuck together. I have a nice sharp pair of cutters there, your friends. That's what I'm talking about. There's metal embedded in these strips, so be careful when you're doing it because this will cut you pretty quick. Like I said, I'll super glue this edge together. I'll make it easier for it to stay together as one piece. But I'm going to go ahead and gently tap it all down again with a hammer and squeeze it with a pair of pliers just to make sure that it stays. Yeah, this is all that's left. I'm going to have to buy 2 more kits. I'll have a lot of extra insulation. Maybe I can use it on the trunk or something. Probably not, but you know, I can hope. 1 completed door seal. The door's not going to close right, of course. That's a problem. I might have myself a little conundrum. It's not a problem along the edge. It's a problem with the front of the door. Well, this is fun. I'm going to go ahead and peel the weather strip off at the front edge here from the bottom of the door, the front, up to the top of the dash and see if it closes. Let's see how this goes. Nope. Either way, that's actually how you put a door seal in. If you get one that's actually correct for your car, it's much easier than this crap was. Just a pro tip. If you have an AMC, you're probably pretty screwed, at least for a 4-door. Well, it's a surprisingly beautiful day in February in Michigan. It's almost 60, and I was going to drive the Chambler up to get an alignment, and then it's leaking. So let's go ahead and see if we can figure out what's leaking and fix it for the 9 millionth time. It's extremely windy, so the camera might be bouncing a little bit. Well, it appears to be power steering system leaking. A slow leak from the power steering system sucks, but it's not going to stop me from driving. If it was cooling system, I have to go and fully evaluate it. But I'm going to check everything else, give it a once over, and just as a double check. Let's check the reservoir. I don't see anything coming from anywhere else. It's going down slowly. I mean, there's just no way about it. I'm going to have to fix it. It's likely the pump or the reservoir housing. And as long as it's not empty and it's not spewing, or should I say spewing, I'm going to drive it. It does make me feel better. At least it's something I knew that was a problem, not some new problem. So I have to keep an eye on it and address it when I can. It's really, really freaking windy here. The guys at Oy's House were nice enough to let me bring the Chambler in, so let's go ahead and see what it looks like underneath. I can show you all the custom work I did, and it's all nice and tall now. It's like a monster truck. Look at it, it's beautiful. I don't have a gimbal yet, so you're gonna have to apologize any shakiness in the camera. Try to give you a much better picture of the underneath of the car. Now it's actually up in the air. Give you a better idea of all the reinforcement and structure under here. Frame strengthening, or unibody strengthening, I should say. The gas tank actually mounts to where it would have been the rear frame on the Cherokee. That would have been the very back end of the Cherokee. And that's the car. Custom from front to back. Trying to give you a better view of the fill lines and how the trunk's actually structured. Now you can see it, it's not right in your face. That's the factory tank. That's the brackets and the mounts. You can really see all the Bondo that I raised the floor for, keep everything up out of the way. Give you a good view of all the boxing I did to lower the rear suspension front mount for leaf springs. And it's also braced vertically and horizontally into the frame itself and to the rocker of the Rambler body. Let me see how much the rear suspension length has changed. That's basically a foot back from the stock mount there. Gives you a good view of the 1x3 rectangular tubing that's basically bracing the Cherokee frame, Rambler rockers, and all the flooring in between. It's a little, hoisted a little too high, but you get the idea. It's more important you see that than me. You can also see where I color match, and color matches in air quotes, the lower rockers to the body. Went to get an alignment this morning, and Hot Rod Shop said it looks like my ball joints are going out, and kind of disappointed. And I'm thinking, man, yeah, that's the one thing I don't remember actually checking. So check it now. I believe he said that the driver's side was not that bad, the right side was in bad shape. So I don't feel much of anything on the driver's side. Check the passenger side. Kind of makes me feel like an idiot because I checked everything else and I realized I don't believe I did check the ball joints. I know other things that are wrong, but I screwed up on that one. Let's see what happens. Now let's see if I can get a result with some leverage.
And I'm pointing at you because?
Because you're going to film me driving. It's a mom cam.
Okay.
So. Just a little squeaky. Unfortunately, there definitely is some ball joint play, so I'll be fixing that along with some of the axle shafts, some other things in the front end, but that'll be for a later time. It's awesome to have my mom finally go in the car. She used to street race when she was very young, and I was not even existing thought. But now let's get to the most important part, loading into the show. I'm down here at the entrance, just waiting my turn to get in. The car did great. I took Jefferson down, which about doubled my time to drive here, but I didn't want to take this on the highway until it's got an alignment and a couple little things fixed. The car did fantastic. Now it's just a waiting game. I'll come back in when we're going in the building. I have no idea how this is going to work, so we'll find out together. Should be making it into the building in just a second, which will be freaking awesome. I don't know where they're going to have me placed. I don't know how any of this works, actually, which I probably just said before about 2 seconds ago in the video. But I think it's important. This is going to be fun. It's going to be a very long weekend, but a lot of fun. I think we'll be able to meet a lot of cool people and hopefully make some good connections to find parts for the Honchero, because there's some things that I definitely don't have in my wheelhouse that should have stuff here. Let's see how it goes. I literally can see Canada right there. It's half a mile away over the water, which does you no good because you can't see what the heck I'm looking at, but you can see a little Canadian flag just hanging on for dear life on a pole over on the other side of the water. It is windy. audio, but somebody just fired up something pretty healthy with a blower. We're 3 cars from the entrance. I would not want to be the guy you're going to see here in a minute. It's way too cold and windy for this. That guy. Feel bad for him today. In case I haven't fully explained it, the Autorama in Detroit has 2 levels. There's the top floor, which is all your fancy cars like your Riddler Winner and stuff that's, you know, way north of 100,000. And I'm going to the basement, which is all the rat rods and the home built stuff, custom stuff, and a lot of the companies that sell the products are down in the basement as well. To me, it's the cooler part of the show. But there's a lot of money and a lot of talent that goes upstairs, but I'm good where I'm at. I think this is where I need to be, and I think this is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. So I'm going to show you as much of this as I can, and won't be able to much in this video. I'm going to try to live stream, and if by some chance I can't, I will do a coverage video just of the event. Halfway in the building. Good morning.
You got your stickers?
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's a Cherokee underneath. It's 4-wheel drive.
I wondered.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Since we want the nose of the car facing out, let's go around and kind of pull you up to that until they can move it, okay?
Yeah.
Because you and I aren't going to push that thing.
No. Is there a bathroom available?
Right in the corner there.
Oh,
That's the last one of you. Go ahead.
I just gotta run and do that.
Go on.
You know, I gotta move it, but I gotta use the bathroom first. Well, they've got to move this piece of equipment, then I get in place, but I figured I'd show you the Monte Carlo. Just pulling in. That was the blower noise you heard in the drive-in, which you might not have heard. Sweet 57, and don't think I'll get too much footage today, but once I get the car kind of in place, I'll talk you through some stuff and see what comes up. With that, this video is done. See everybody at the show this weekend. It's March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In Michigan, go home. I think it's called Home Place now. But see you next time. Thanks for watching.